Right, let's just dive right into it, shall we? High end stimulus. Now, this is, of course, the quickest, most easiest way to immediately dive into this topic. High end stimulus, right? Where to begin? I know a lot of people might come and attack me, about stimulation because you don't just get it from video games. I understand that. Like real life things. Quick warning: in this video, you're probably going to hear a lot about like falsehood, false or wrong or not real. It's pretty much the real world versus the digital world. But when it comes to like real life stimulation, like natural types of stimulation, that usually comes from things like really big events happening, mass levels of excitement because of another good thing happening. This dopamine flux that you get from accomplishing something really, really big, that kind of shit. So stimulation can in some cases be a good thing, but when it comes to the digital world, not necessarily, because it's not real, right? And an easier way to explain this is because it gives you this false sense of progress. When I played a lot of video games, so don't take me for like one who's like barely knows video games but talks all about it, okay? Talking from experience. It gives you a false sense of progress. It's when I've realized when I'm at like my lowest and I feel like I'm doing nothing, no productive work whatsoever, I very much tend to want to play video games because I want to make progress, right? You just wiped the entire lobby and you're just ranking up like crazy, like you get the badges for ranks, Fortnite, Call of Duty, whatever the fuck, right? That is that full sense of progress. You get the skins on your guns, the charms, etc. It's pretty obvious how that's a bad thing, is it not? Like it's giving you the impression that you're actually doing something, that you're actually making something of something, you understand? And especially if you're striving to be productive, to be a better man, to be someone of purpose, someone of value. What does video games truly serve? You understand? Like a false sense of progress, like that should immediately just strike red flag, like. And that's what I mean by like fake stimulation, because it's not actual real progress. You're not. If you were, what do we call it? If you were gold and now you're like Unreal on Fortnite, nothing in life really changes, does it? Like, what else? Is your mother more happy with you? Is your sister loving you 10% more? Is your girlfriend super duper impressed? I mean, she was like a gamer as well, but it doesn't change much, right? But if it's real life progress in the real world, you finished your book. I'm going to be making a video about this soon as well. You finished a book? Well, yeah, that's real progress. You just learned a bunch of shit, right? You know real life stuff. That can make a difference. It could change a conversation. You could have a separate conversation with a friend of yours, and now your friendship's growing a shit ton closer, or further. And makes you realize that they're not really a good friend. I don't know. I'm just speculating. And a second thing that almost follows along the lines of this false sense of progress would also probably be when you play video games, it gives you this immediate like level of reward or return, right? It like you kill somebody, they make it as satisfying as possible, you feel great, and then it's super duper quick, it's super duper easy to just get handed these like this dopamine flux, right? These cheap little baskets of dopamine. And that's the thing with video games. That's why it's like it's so addictive, because like you're getting, not only just are you making progress, it's immediate reward. Like it's just boom right there in front of your face. If you were to read a book, it's like my number one analogy. If you read a book, the return and reward is very, very like prolonged, is it not? Like it takes a long time to come across someone who has that kind of conversation with you, who's like, it takes a while for the knowledge of that book that you had just read to like settle in, to come in use. But in a video game, boom, there's your badge, and then there's your gun skin, there's your charm, you understand? Your attachment, whatever. And well, then there's stimulus, and everyone's addicted to stimuli, so there's that. Secondly, we have time wasted, right? So when it comes to time wasted, it's simply the more hours you spend playing games, the less hours you spend being productive. Plain and simple like that, is it not? A lot of people are like willing to argue that 1 hour video games is okay. Technically, yes, right? If you somehow had the discipline, mindset, mentality to get all your work done, and at the end of the day, you take your break, and we'll go about that, we'll dive into that a bit later, but it's not really a break. But if you're somehow able to play 1 hour video games and yet still get all your stuff done, I still think maybe, but the point I'm trying to make is that hour of video games you just spent, you could have been, I don't know, you could have been reading, right? You could have been writing down tomorrow's tasks list or taking a shower. There's better things to do than playing video games, right? I know it's this video of mine and like me out of all people talking about it, probably not going to make the biggest change, but I'm just sincerely hoping I can like just spark something in someone, right? And I've been through all of this, so don't think I'm just spouting nonsense trying to be a guru or some shit. Definitely not. I have been through this. And quick side tangent, when I had quit video games, I'd quit it for about 6 months, right? It had been 6 months since I played video games, and when I kind of fell into a bit of like a rhythm of playing video games again, I ended up playing it excessively, like most people actually do. You know, you play, but you're not actually enjoying it, but you're just playing in hopes you're going to get another good game. But when you get a good game, you want to play another game, so it's just an eternal trap. But after a while, I felt so uncomfortable in my seat. I felt unhealthy. I felt dirty. And weirdly explained enough, I kind of felt the stimulus on my face. Like I felt sick from like the flashy kind of colors and and it kind of stressed me out and it put me in a dim mood, especially when I'm not performing good. And it just goes to show like how much stimuli that truly is. It goes to like show like I just felt so unhealthy. And it's like it was so odd to me because like when I played video games when I was younger, I didn't notice that feeling at all. It was so like regular to me. I just felt tired. But after getting on a healthier journey, you know, doing more stuff, trying to partake in self-improvement and so on and so forth, it felt sickening. Like weirdly enough, it felt sickening, and that like said a lot to me. But anyway, back on topic. Any amount of hours you spend on video games, you could spend on something productive. Even sleeping, if it helps you perform better the next few hours, is productive, right? Like recently, I literally just lectured my friend about going back to sleep. I just realized if him sleeping more hours would help him be more productive later in the day, then he should probably go back to sleep. He's trying to perfect his sleep schedule. So something I also learned from a concept from Hamza. A concept I had learned from Hamza was enjoying your work enough to not wanting to play video games, right? I thought to myself, would I want to live the life of being able to make a shitload of money and also enjoy the comforts of video games? Or be able to live the life where I'm always working, I'm always productive, that I not only don't have time to play video games, but I simply don't want to because I enjoy my work so much. Personally, that is the kind of life that I'd want to live. That is far more enjoyable, like far more exhilarating. I don't know, like at one point I'd thought I'd want to experience like the wonders of like technology. I'd want to like enjoy, you know, like the genius creation of humankind, you know, like video games. It's still like a cool thing humans created, right? And whilst that's true, and I do enjoy video games, and I know I can be, yeah, there's no way else to say it. I know I can be good at video games, right? Forgive me for the cringe. But like, once you've like experienced that rush that you get after like doing something big, completing a big task, swallowing the frog, if you've heard that concept, if not, go watch the past video. Once you've done that, like, video games just feel so profoundly like mundane. Like it's just, I feel guilty the moment I set up my chair and like grab my controller. Like if I were to advise, like, let's just cut the shit for a second. If I were to advise to anybody, especially those who are like the most addicted to games, try and find one productive thing to do. Don't make it too you know what? It could be easy, it could be difficult. The easier it is to perform. Maybe you're going a bit easier on yourself if you're that addicted. But the harder the task, the more the reward, right? if you truly do accomplish something great, right? Like I used to struggle at reading books. Like it was so boring to me. I can read, it's just, it was so boring to me. But once I actually read my first productive book, luckily for me, it actually was fun at the time. It felt amazing. Like absolutely amazing. It truly did feel good to me. Something like you begin to realize the other stuff that you could be doing with your time. And perfecting my sleep schedule, like I would sleep so cocked, I'd never stick to my word. I go around to bed almost the same time, I wake up almost the same time every day. That doesn't only just improve my hours of sleep and I feel less tired, but like I genuinely sleep better. I don't wake up as much during the night. It's so much more comfortable, and just it's so nice waking up in the morning with energy. It's insane, dude. I feel healthy. I feel so healthy. And I've been doing intermittent fasting, yeah, it's just I challenge you to do one productive thing at least and see the kind of reward that gives you. Thirdly, we have playing for the wrong reasons. Now, I've heard this a bajillion times. Personally, I've never used this as an excuse, maybe one of them. But when I hear people say it's an escape, what? Like, huh? Like, the thing with a man is like, what kind of man runs away from his problems? Like, if I don't want to discredit anybody's like going through something, but if you're like a man's like sincerely, right? If you strive to be a man, I'm mainly talking to men. If you're a woman, I can't really talk on your behalf all that much, but you know what? In general, as a human being, you should never want to run away from your problems. Okay, video games as an escape, that's just depressing. Like personally, video games has never been an escape for me, but it has been a break, and that's the second one that I've heard a shit ton, right? The reason video games isn't a break is, like we said at the beginning, it's highly stimulating. Like if you're willing to sit down and talk to me about how much it relaxes you, do not lie to me. Like I know some video games, like my friend plays what's it called? Surviving on Mars. There we are. I can imagine that being a relaxing game, but I'm sure he must get excited or like a bit happy or like jumpy when he like creates something new, however the damn game works, right? Each and every video game has a small bit of stimulus, has a small bit of excitement. You're like, otherwise it would just be boring, right? And I don't blame the video game companies. They're like doing their job pretty damn well, but it's not a break, and it shouldn't be an escape. And you should never play video games for either of those reasons, because you're either delusional or you're just living a depressing life. And the simple solution is go out and do something, fam. Jeez. But yes, I too, to be fair, I've made a few excuses as to why I've played video games. I said it's actually okay to play 1 hour of video games, been through that stage. I've said it's also a break for me. Stupidest excuse ever. I've never really used escape because I always knew that was kind of depressing. But it's just playing games for the wrong reasons. And I think a lot of people know deep down, hidden behind their thoughts, I think they know video games isn't the best. When I talk to some of my friends, right, and I actually not even just friends, anybody, when I personally talk about the stuff that I've been doing, you know, like reading a book, everyone knows reading a book is good. Everyone knows like doing productive stuff is very, very good. Like, come on. And whilst I'm spreading on about like all the good shit that I do, right, I'm not that much, okay, I'm not that full of myself, like, have mercy. But after saying all these things, the moment like I'd ask one of them like, what have you been doing? they pause and they stutter and they like take it slow and they're like a little bit nervous. They don't really mention the video games. It's only when I ask deeper do they. And it's like, you're aware, like I've been that person. You're aware that someone else is doing something better whilst you're playing video games. Like, unless it's a video game buddy of yours, you're not going to flex, are you? Like someone who's been reading books and you're like, yeah, well, I got to Elite on Fortnite, or I got to max level prestige on Call of Duty, or Predator on Apex. Like, why would you flex video games to a guy who's trying to better his life? You understand? Like, I believe everyone on a fundamental level understands that video games isn't actually the best spending of time. And if you can acknowledge that, that is the first step. So congrats to you, right? I'm not trying to attack you right? Like I've said in previous videos, I'm not trying to attack you or anything of the sort. I'm trying to help you, okay? So I might seem a bit boastful and smiley about it, but this is, to me personally, this is actually a big topic. I know a shitload of friends who play video games, so it doesn't make me the happiest, and I just want the best for them, right? Most productive, most enjoyable lives, because this feeling that I feel, these experiences that I get, I want them to feel it too. And lastly, we have simply not being worthy. Now, technically, I don't have the authority to tell you if you're worthy or not to play video games. I don't want to make myself to be a big shot or like a rich guy. I don't know. To be fair, I'm pretty much in the midway or a little bit further along in this journey of self-improvement. Technically, it's not particularly just self-improvement. It's too vague, but it's more just the process of bettering yourself, of finding purpose in life, finding fulfillment. That is basically it in a nutshell. But I know Elon Musk. I know Elon Musk plays a bit of video games, and the point I want to make is, well, yeah, he's Elon Musk. Like, he's accomplished everything life pretty much has to offer. He can travel anywhere he wants, I'm quite sure. Has all the money he could ever need, unless he's doing another big project or some shit like that. He has a wife, he has a shitload of kids. He's accomplished everything that life pretty much has to offer. And at his stage, he's reached such a high level, like, of course, like, he gets to play video games. Like, he's still making a shitload of money. Technically, this isn't all about money, but still, in his downtime, he could spend hours doing nothing and he's still making a bunch of money, right? So, through my eyes, Elon, he's got it all. He's accomplished it all. I mean, he could still be doing healthier things, but he's Elon Musk. Of course he gets to play video games. And yeah, so for me personally, I don't believe I'm worthy of playing video games. I did recently get a PS5 that I've begged for 5 years. It hasn't been out for 5 years, but I've begged for a console for 5 years. And funny enough, I barely even played for a year, and I'm quitting. So, yeah. So, I've not accomplished everything life has to offer. I've not done everything I possibly can do. And I know during the time which I could spend playing video games, I could be doing something with my life. I could be bettering other people's lives, and hopefully you guys as well, right? If I just seem like some random teenager on the internet boasting, trying to be the next Hamza, a white Hamza, the next Andrew Tate or Iman Gaji, that's not me. I acknowledge that. I don't necessarily want to be them. I might want what they have, but like, I aim to be better, okay? I'm not a wannabe. I'm not some wannabe guru, alright? I've experienced this. I'm talking from experience. I know what it feels like. I know your position, alright? I hope at least one of these things had stuck with you, because truly, what I had found after quitting video games is this massive gap of free time. And within this gap of free time, I had spent that learning instead. I'd watch podcasts, certain influences that I admire. And as time grew, I didn't purposely pursue it, but I ended up taking upon more interests about like power, about like strength, mentality, spiritualism, right? Christian, thank you. Been reading books about, like I read The Psychology of Money, Atomic Habits. I'm reading 48 Laws of Power. I started taking interests in philosophy, stoicism, and all these different things, right? I just find it truly amazing how much is open to you when you're like, this actually goes for more than just video games. This goes for TikTok, any form of short form content, video games, the endless pursuits of like hedonistic pursuit. I'd gone through this very confusing stage of like, I'll admit it's not really easy. My mentality after like having to quit video games and cut out all this kind of stuff was still a bit messed. I thought the moment I delete all of it and stop it, I'm in the good, you know. I wasn't. It took a lot of thought and like almost like mental rehabilitation and understanding and rewiring my own brain to truly sit back and appreciate and understand everything from a further, more advanced lens of life, you know. So, yeah, and I'm healthy now, and so is my friendship, and so is my relationship, and so is my family, and things are finally looking up for me. I was given another chance, so I'll do my best to make the very most of it. But with further ado, that is it for today. I hope you had a wonderful day, wonderful evening, afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Thank you for watching. You truly do help me out, and hope I was of service. And famous motto of mine: don't compare, compete.